I will call to order the meeting of the City Council 2018-001 for January 9th, 2018. We will start, as we usually do, with the flag salute led by new Councilor Ken Hecht.
Yes.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we will observe a moment of silence. New Councilor Jen Holgram will lead us in that.
Thank you, Council President Lundberg. I wanted to take this moment of silence to acknowledge and thank my good friend Elizabeth Thomas, who unfortunately passed away quite quickly on December 28th. She led a very long and interesting life. She graduated cum laude from Bryn Mawr. She was a social worker and a computer engineer. She moved to Gloucester with her husband Art many years ago and established herself as a member of the Gloucester Democratic City Committee and also a member of the Skeptics Club. She was a kind, witty, and intelligent woman, and she will be missed.
Please call the first order of business.
First order of business is oral communications.
Oral communications. The public shall have the opportunity at every regularly scheduled meeting to be heard under oral communications on matters not appearing on the agenda. Oral communications shall allow any resident who has a request or complaint of any nature relative to city business to appear before the council, state their problem without debate, and the matter shall be referred to the proper agency through the office of the mayor. The resident will be notified within a two-week period relative to the disposition of same, and a copy shall be forwarded to the City Council. Persons speaking under oral communications shall be limited to 3 minutes each. Council President shall not allow complaints as to individual performance. So those are the ground rules. Do have anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on oral communications? Seeing none. Next item of business, presentation and commendations. There are none. Confirmation of new appointments. There are none. Next, we have the consent agenda. So I would ask if there are any councilors who wish to pull any matter off of the consent agenda. Councilor Cox.
I would like to pull under reappointments for the Traffic Commission for Robert Francis, please.
Okay, Robert Francis for the Traffic Commission is pulled from the consent agenda. Any others? If there are no others, I will hear a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Councilor Cox?
This well-known volunteer for the city has offered up his resignation from the Traffic Commission, so he will not be up for reappointment.
Thank you.
Okay, well, so noted, and thank you for that. Next item of business is the committee reports. Our first committee report will be Budget and Finance. Councilor Cox.
Good evening. First item on the agenda is, wow, I haven't done this in 2 years. The Budget and Finance Committee recommended that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A.5, the donation by Gorton's Incorporated of 350 cloth grocery bags with a monetary value of $175 for the purpose of distribution to Gloucester senior citizens and low-income residents to aid in the transition from single-use plastic checkout bags through the Clean City Commission, and I so move.
And seconded.
Basically, the chair of the Clean City Commission Ainsley Smith accepted a donation from Gorton's for single-use bags in the amount of $175. So we're just here to accept the donation.
Questions from councilors? We've had a motion, it's been seconded. This is a simple majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next item, Councilor Cox.
Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, a grant from the Massachusetts State Historical Records Advisory Board through the Massachusetts Secretary of State's office in the amount of $6,620 to the Gloucester Committee for the Arts for the purpose of supporting the preservation of the City of Gloucester's Civil War uniform coat, and I so move.
Second.
Mr. George King and Mr. Charles King are well known to us, and they wrote a grant with the help of Catherine Ryan for the preservation cabinet to preserve the Civil War uniform.
Any questions from councilors? We have a motion and it's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item.
This motion also goes with it. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, a donation up to $7,565 from the Gloucester Fund for the purpose of a monetary match for the Massachusetts State Historical Records Advisory Board grant through the Massachusetts Secretary of State's office for the purpose of supporting the preservation of the City of Gloucester's Civil War uniform coat, and I so move.
Second.
This is the match to the previous grant that we just accepted, and the $7,565 were all private donations made through the Gloucester Fund.
Very good. Any councilor questions? Simple majority. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Very good. Thank you, Councilor Cox. Now, the next motions are special. These require a roll call vote. So, Councilor Cox, over to you.
Okay. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve 2018 SA 14 in the amount of $8,500 from Waterways Enterprise Fund undesignated fund balance retained earnings free cash account as noted to Waterways Enterprise capital outlay boat and marine equipment account as noted for the purpose of purchasing a 2004 19-foot Carolina skiff workboat for the use by the Harbor Masters Department. And I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any council questions?
The
Narrative.
2004 19-foot Carolina skiff is replacing the current skiff that we have from 1962. So you can see why we're excited to replace that boat.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we'll have a roll call vote.
Counselor Cox?
LeBlanc.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going by that one, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan? Yes. Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Counselor Cox?
Yes.
Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Heck?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
City Council vote for 2018 SA 14 in the amount of $8,500 passes on a vote of 9-0.
Budget and Finance voted unanimously that the City Council approve Supplemental Appropriation 2018 SA 7 in the amount of $45,000 from the General Fund undesignated fund balance free cash as noted to the Fire Department telecommunications equipment account as noted for the purpose of funding the purchase of the Rave Smart 911 system and Lexi Pole Public Safety Department policy manuals, and I so move.
Second.
This is money from free cash to update the policy manuals for the police and fire.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg.
Yes?
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan,
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara,
Yes.
Counselor Cox. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Heck,
Yes.
Counselor Holgram.
Yes.
City Council vote for 2018 SA7 in the amount of $45,000 for the purpose as specified, passes on a vote of 9-0.
Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve, wait for it, Supplemental Appropriation 2018 SA8 in the amount of $15,000 from the General Fund Undesignated Fund Balance Free Cash account as noted to City Legal Purchase of Services account as noted for the purpose of contracting with an outside vendor for a review of the city's Code of Ordinances and zoning ordinances, and I so move.
Was seconded.
So, sorry.
That's all right.
So what we're doing here, it's a very small amount of money to do a cursory glance at the Code of Ordinances and zoning ordinances to make sure that what we have ties together. So you guys know that when we say ordinance over here and it ties to ordinance over here, they're just making sure that those links are appropriate. This is a cursory glance at the Code of Ordinances and the zoning ordinances, and will be followed up with a report to the legal department in regards to their findings, and then we will take action after that. So Code of Ordinance changes will go to City Council, zoning ordinance will go to the Planning Board.
Any questions? And this is a precursor to a more comprehensive review of the zoning ordinance and the Code of Ordinances, but this is the first step. So a roll call vote, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan, Counselor O'Hara,
Yes.
Counselor Cox. Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Heck,
Yes.
Counselor Holgram.
Yes.
City Council vote for 2018 SA8 for the purpose as specified and the accounts as specified in the amount of $15,000, passes on a vote of 9-0.
Next item, the Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 2018 SA9 in the amount of $30,000 from the General Fund Undesignated Fund Balance Free Cash as noted to Waterways Enterprise Ordinary Maintenance, Engineering, and Architectural Services account as noted for the purpose of additional engineering services associated with pier float reconstruction. And I so move. Scott?
Second. Second? Second. They moved and seconded. Councilor Cox.
The Harbor Master's Office is looking at rebuilding the floats and finger piers at the Harbor Master Department. The pilings and fittings weren't what they should have been after National Grid tweaked with their things, so they're going to do a little redesign.
Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg,
Yes.
Counselor Memhard,
Yes.
Counselor Nolan, Counselor O'Hara,
Yes.
Counselor Cox, Counselor Gilman,
Yes.
Counselor Heck,
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren.
Yes.
The City Council vote for 2018 SA9 for the purpose of additional engineering services associated with pier float reconstruction, amount of $30,000, passes on a vote of 9-0.
Councilor Lundberg,
Yes,
if I may?
Yes, you may, please.
We already passed the motion, we already did this earlier, but I would like to introduce George and Charles. I always call them by different names, so I like, so, yeah. Boys, if you guys want to come up, introduce yourselves. On the mic.
Hi, my name's Charles King. Hi, I'm George King.
So these are the gentlemen that with the assistance of Catherine Ryan, wrote the grant for the preservation of the Civil War coat and the case that it will be held in. And where is that case going to be?
I believe it will be at Gloucester High School. Yeah, but our hope is that we might be able to like loan it to different places that might want it because it's a very valuable item.
That is great. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for your, being here tonight.
Okay, next supplemental appropriation, Council Cox?
Where did I leave off, Dana? 10. 10?
10.
Okay. Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 2018 SA-10 for the total of $95,000 from the General Fund Undesignated Fund Balance Free Cash account as noted to DPW Central Services Capital Equipment account as noted for the purpose of $50,000 to improvements to the fuel pumps and fuel management system, $15,000 for the down payment of a new vehicle for the police chief, $30,000 for the purchase of a used bucket truck, which totals the $95,000. And I so move. This is pretty self-explanatory. The breakdown is in the motion, $50,000 to improvements to the fuel pumps and fuel management system. It's rather old at DPW, so they wanted to upgrade that. The vehicle that the police chief is currently using is a truck that they got through a grant and will be repurposed to DPW. And the $15,000 is the down payment for the new vehicle. The rest of it, totaling $35,000, will be figured out in the lease. And then the $30,000 for a purchase of a used bucket truck, which we all know the city needs.
Council questions? Roll call vote, please.
Council LeBlanc?
Yes.
Council Lundberg?
Yes.
Council Memhard?
Yes.
Council Nolan? Yes. Council O'Hara?
Yes.
Council Cox? Yes. Council Gilman?
Yes.
Council Heck?
Yes.
Council Holmgren?
Yes.
The City Council vote regarding 2018 SA-10 for the purpose as specified to the accounts as specified passes on a vote of 9-0.
Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 2018 SA-11 in the amount of $15,000 from the General Fund Undesignated Fund Balance Free Cash account as noted to Human Resources Training Managers account as noted for the purpose of various management training endeavors, and I so move.
Second.
Seconded?
It was talked about during budget time, setting aside money for management training, and unfortunately it was cut. So they are making it whole through one-time money with free cash.
With permission from the chair, I'd love to ask Donna Lee to come up just so she can tell us briefly about why this is important.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel very strongly that the city will greatly benefit from funds allocated for management training. We have been able to partner with Endicott College here in the city. We've been able to introduce a leadership program for all of our senior managers. We have scheduled, coming up in the spring, we hope to schedule personnel management training seminars for all of our managers and supervisors. In addition, we have identified a need to have a legal expert provide training in employment law for all of our managers and supervisors, and I need the funds in order to fulfill those obligations. We also have another need for management training. Many of our department accounts do not have a training line item, and in order for our managers to engage in their professional associations, those funds should come from the management training account as well. So this is a start that I hope will continue, and that we continue to grow our city management resources through training, and I thank you in advance for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. All right. Any others? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan? Yes. Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Heck?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
The City Council vote regarding 2018 SA-11 in the amount of $15,000 for the purpose as specified to the accounts as specified passes 9-0.
The Budget and Finance Committee voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 2018 SA-12 in the amount of $4,500 from the general fund undesignated fund balance free cash account as noted to the Mayor's Office other expenses account as noticed. Mayor's Office other expenses for the purpose of $1,500 for fees for the Massachusetts Area Planning Council of the North Shore, $3,000 for new chairs for the conference room table for a total of $4,500, and I so move.
Second.
Basically, this is pretty straightforward. The chairs in the mayor's office for the conference room are rather old and a little shaky. So don't lean back in them if anybody's ever in there. And then the fee for the Massachusetts Area Planning Council North Shore, it was discovered after budget season was already closed that we are participating with this group and we didn't pay the dues. So that is why the funds are coming out of free cash. Next year it will be budgeted for.
Roll call vote.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan?
Yes.
Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yes.
Counselor Heck?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
The City Council vote regarding 2018 SA-12 in the amount of $4,500 for the purpose as specified and to the accounts as specified passes on a vote of 9-0.
Budget and Finance voted unanimously to recommend that the City Council approve supplemental appropriation 2018 SA-13 in the amount of $5,000 from the general fund undesignated fund balance free cash account as noted to Board of Health Public Safety Equipment not capital account as noted for the purpose of purchasing 3 automatic emergency defibrillator units and a wash station for Pond Road. And I so move.
Seconded.
Again, the description is in the motion. What they are purchasing are 3 defibrillators. One will be at a school, one will be at the visitor center, and the other one will be at the harbor master's office. And it was originally written up for a new microwave and fridge for the public safety or for the Board of Health office, but it was after some discussion with the staff there, it was noted that they don't have a sink area, they don't really have a break room area, so they were taking their dishes into the bathroom to rinse them off, which is not very fun. So they have asked for, instead of the fridge and the microwave, which my understanding they're getting elsewhere, is that they've asked for basically a sink, a wash station to be installed.
Any questions? Councilor Gilman?
So, Councilor Cox, can you just tell me a little bit more about the defibrillator in terms of who would be authorized to use it? Is it exclusively for the police and fire and the folks that are certified? Or could anybody use it that would be there?
The defibrillators that are installed in the schools and in the public safety buildings right now they're very easy to use. They have very simple instructions. I did ask the one at the visitor center if there would be training for the staff there, and that there will be training. I know that the one at the harbor master's office, anybody there is already perfectly trained for saving someone's life, and the school has already had them for many years, so this is either a replacement or an addition. So the staff there do go through training as well. But my concern was definitely at the visitor center with the staff there.
Great.
But the fire department will be doing the training.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor LeBlanc?
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg?
Yes.
Counselor Memhard?
Yes.
Counselor Nolan? Yes. Counselor O'Hara?
Yes.
Counselor Cox? Yes. Counselor Gilman?
Yep.
Counselor Heck?
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren?
Yes.
The City Council vote regarding 2018 SA 13 in the amount of $5,000 for the purpose as specified to the accounts as specified passes on a vote of 9-0.
So that brings us to the end of Budget and Finance. Thank you, Councilor Cox. So, Madam Chairman, please call the next order of business.
The next order of business is the Planning and Development Standing Committee of January 3rd.
Councilor Gilman?
Mr. President, there are no matters under this heading for council action.
Thank you. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Next order of business is the Ordinance and Administration meeting of January 2nd.
There are also no items for action tonight, but we do have a couple of public hearings.
Thank you. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Next order of business is public hearing 2018-001, proposed amendments to the job descriptions of the Harbor Master and Shellfish Warden and the proposed Harbor Master Department reorganization plan.
Good, so this is our first public hearing of 2018. I will open the public hearing and ask if there's anyone to speak in favor of this motion. Chair recognizes Donna Lead, our Personnel Director. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to speak in favor of this motion. After a great review, we see a lot of benefits for the city in consolidating our waterfront resources, equipment, and staff between the Harbor Master's Office and the Shellfish operations. First, it's quite obvious that shellfish monitoring and conservation efforts fall within the Gloucester waterways, and we want to achieve maximum benefit for the community by sharing all resources between these two operations. For example, assistant harbor masters, when touring, may be able to observe clam flat operations and notify the shellfish warden of their findings. We see the potential for harbor master staff to maintain the boats to assist the shellfish warden and the assistant shellfish warden. We have available office space on the waterfront through the harbor master's office for the shellfish warden and assistant shellfish warden. So they will no longer need to be located at the annex, that they will be on the waterfront for more direct service. Both the harbor master and shellfish warden are now exploring the potential to improve enforcement operations through shared services. And this model of blended services between harbor master and shellfish warden is now in effect in many Massachusetts communities, including most locally Rockport and Salem. It is a natural fit. So I'm hoping that you have reviewed the changes where the shellfish warden in the administration's proposal will report administratively to the harbor master, and I think we will achieve great efficiencies with this shared service model. I thank you for your consideration, and I'm available to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Donna. Before we get to questions, is there anyone else to speak in favor of this motion? Anyone to speak in opposition? Madam Clerk, any communications on this matter?
There are none.
None. Counselor, questions? So I have a quick question, Donna, just for the record, because I see the organization chart. So the shellfish warden will report administratively to the harbor master, but will continue to report on policy matters to the Shellfish Advisory Board.
Correct. That's absolutely correct.
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Heck?
Are there any economic impacts to this? One way or the other, more expensive, less expensive?
I would think over time we'll create maybe some cost sharings through shared services. They won't be immediately evident, but I think over time it's a natural fit, and we should be able to reduce some costs. I know right now we have a pattern where the shellfish warden is responsible to be out 24/7. We'll be able to maybe monitor that, so if the clam flats are frozen, we'll be able to use those resources in a more cost-efficient manner if they're not open.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Councilor Cox?
Not quite sure you're going to be able to answer this, but I want to get it out there.
Okay.
I'm hoping that one of the redesigns that we just approved earlier, the funding we approved earlier for the redesign down at the harbor master's office, because I imagine that the shellfish warden has their own boat.
They do have
So with the redesign, I'm hoping that there's enough room to keep that down there, or if there was prior to this, I don't know. But I know it's been super tight down there.
The plan would be that the shellfish boat would be stored down there as well.
Okay. All right.
Other questions?
Thank you.
Nope. Anybody else? Okay. We'll close the public hearing and call for the committee report.
Yes, sir. Ordinance and Administration voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, in connection with the Harbor Master's Development Reorganization Plan to recommend that the City Council accept the amended Harbor Master's position, job description, and that this job description of that of the Shellfish Warden's position, job description as presented to the City Council on November 28th, 2017, and I so move.
Moved and seconded. Any other commentary from councilors?
I have a couple quick ones.
Yes.
Seeing that I sit on the Waterways Board, so I kind of know what's going on a little bit also. So our Shellfish Warden is presently up at the City Hall Annex up at Pond Road. So it doesn't make sense to have our Shellfish Warden landlocked. So it makes sense to have her part of the Harbor Master's office. Also, it's another set of eyes and ears on the water for the Harbor Master while they're out. They'll have a little bit of more authority being part of the Harbor Master's office while they're patrolling the shellfish flats, that she'll be able to have a little bit more jurisdiction on enforcement and, like I said, eyes and ears out there, which makes a great deal to the Harbor Master's office. And yes, the boat will be stored there, and there won't be any economical impact. It'll be a smooth transition.
Very good. Any other comments from councilors? Okay, do we have a motion and a second? Yep. And is this a roll call? This is a simple majority. And we have two motions, so this is the first of two. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next one.
The next motion Ordinance and Administration voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council accept the amended Harbor Masters Department reorganization plan based on the chart as submitted to the City Council November 28, 2017, in accordance with the City Charter, Section 7-2. And I so move.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any commentary?
Nope.
No commentary. This is just a mirror of what we just did. Any council questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Great. Thank you. Next item of business, Madam Clerk.
Next item is public hearing 2018-002 to amend Gloucester Code of Ordinances, Chapter 15, Parks and Recreation, Section 15-34, Use and Activity Restrictions regarding recreational marijuana.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will open the public hearing. And Councilor Gilman, this is your...
Mr. President, I ask that we withdraw Council Order 2018-002. Shortly after this order was brought forward, the city's recreational marijuana task force suggested that our general counsel reviews the totality of all of our GCO and develop proposed amendments for certain sections, and that we approved in the consent agenda.
Right. So we're withdrawing the public hearing? Yes. Okay. And before we call for a vote on that, I just wanted to advise councilors the recreational marijuana task force on which Councilor Gilman sits has been very busy, and there are an incredible host of issues that have been raised. I have asked Carol, the head of our Department of Health, who chairs that committee, to appear before us next meeting and give us an update on where things stand. There are several zoning ordinances, including things like this, that will have to be addressed, and so Councilor Gilman thought it would be in the interests of efficiency. We'll do it as a complete package, and I wanted everyone to be aware of not only the changes in the ordinance, but timelines and so forth. So we will have a presentation next time. So do we have to have a vote to, do I close the public hearing? Yes. All right, well, I'll close the public hearing, and a simple majority vote will, yeah, I guess we need a motion to withdraw the public hearing.
So moved?
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. Thank you. Next item of business, Madam Clerk.
Next item is for council vote is City Council Order CC 2017-059, Councilor O'Hara to petition the Mass DOT to placing divider lines on Essex Avenue, State Route 133, and Western Avenue, State Route 127, and placing traffic marking directional arrows beginning at Kent Circle and extend double lines on Western Avenue, State Route 133.
Thank you. This is so for council vote to recommend, to vote for Councilor O'Hara's request that we petition the state on the dividing lines at the Rotary. You want to speak to that, Councilor O'Hara?
Thank you. This is to help ease traffic flow at Kent Circle. There was a recent change 2 years ago making Kent Circle the crossroad from Essex Ave 133 to Western Ave 127 one way. That traffic coming into Kent Circle, coming into 127 or Western Ave is backed up a little bit more, that this will help ease, or hopefully help ease that traffic by giving direction for cars to go to the right and left with arrows and signage.
Thank you. We do have a motion. Councilor LeBlanc?
Thank you. Ordinance Administration voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council send, I have a motion right here. I'm sorry.
The city council voted in favor.
Nope.
Okay.
And, yeah,
Right here.
on a motion, who made the motion? I know, but did someone make a motion? He's making the motion. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to have the city clerk on behalf of the city council.
City clerk, on behalf of the city council, send a letter to Mass DOT requesting the following. Place a traffic divider line on Essex Avenue, State Route 133 eastbound into Gloucester, beginning at Kent Circle, the west end, and continuing to intersection of Western Avenue, Route 127. 2, request traffic marking directional arrows, multiple, beginning from Kent Circle, be placed in the roadway, north side of new divide, arrows to direct traffic onto Western Avenue towards Bridge, northbound. South side of divide, arrows placed in roadway directing traffic on Western Avenue or towards Magnolia southbound. Erect signs prior to Kent Circle with notes traffic configuration ahead. 3, extend double lines, divider lines on Western Avenue, State Route 133 from north end of Kent Circle, in parentheses, Gloucester Bridge end versus Magnolia end, close parentheses, from present end, point to new future Essex Avenue, Route 133 divider line. This extension of the divider lines may keep drivers from turning left westbound from Western Avenue, Route 127, in parentheses, also known as cutting the corner too soon. And I so move.
Moved and seconded. Any questions for, yes, Councilor LeBlanc?
So I had a neighborhood meeting at Kent Circle over the summertime for the one-way situation that we had over there. We had the traffic commission there. I'm pretty sure we have petitioned the state for this already through the traffic commission. But I'll definitely second this again tonight to make sure that we're heard, because this was a thorn in the side of the residents, not just the residents over there, the people that are using that intersection. It's called Kent Circle, but it's really not a circle. It's kind of a screwy situation over there. So I don't have a problem with Councilor O'Hara's for council vote for this, to put it forward. So that being said, I'm going to support this.
Any other councilors' comments? This is a simple majority. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, Madam Clerk, next order of business.
Next order of business is City Council Order 2017-060, Council O'Hara to petition the Mass DOT to perform engineering study regarding the health of trees along their right-of-way.
Do we have a motion?
Sure. City clerk, on behalf of the city council, send a letter to Mass DOT requesting it perform engineering study concerning health of trees along both sides of all state right-of-ways throughout the city of Gloucester, and subsequent to study, remove unhealthy trees and prune unhealthy limbs from trees on both sides of same. And I so move.
Good, moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Madam Clerk, next order of business.
The next order of business is the decision to adopt Special City Council Permit 2017-013, 120 Maplewood Avenue, parentheses Maplewood School, map 39, lot 4, for a modification of Special City Council Permit 2015-004, granted under Gloucester zoning ordinance sections 1.8.3, 2.3.1, parentheses 8, 5.7.1, 1.10.1, parentheses A, parentheses 1, 1.10.1A, parentheses A, parentheses 3, 3.2.2, footnote 8, and major project section 5.71.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So this is an affirmation, an adoption of the vote we made last time on this particular special permit for amending the special permit for the renovation of Maplewood School. And so we did all the things that we did last time, so this is just the move to adopt.
So moved.
Counselor Gilman? You want to do the motion?
Sure, I move to adopt the decision for SCP 2017-013 at 120 Maplewood Ave.
Moved and seconded. Simple majority, all in
Nope.
favor? No.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, roll call vote.
Counselor LeBlanc,
Yes.
Counselor Lundberg.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Yes.
Counselor Nolan. Counselor O'Hara.
Yes.
Counselor Cox. Counselor Gilman.
Yes.
Counselor Heck.
Yes.
Counselor Holmgren.
Yes.
The City Council vote to adopt a decision for Special City Council Permit 2017-003 for 120 Maplewood Avenue passes on a vote of 9-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item of business is unfinished business. I don't think we have any unfinished business on our agenda. Next item after that is individual councilors' discussions on committees appointed. Tonight we have Councilor LeBlanc, who's the City Council's representative of the Waterways Board. Councilor LeBlanc, you have anything to report to us?
As we know, it's wintertime, so there's not a lot going on at the Harbor Master's office. The last time I did an update, I talked about the DocWa app that we have, which is tremendous, and you're able to schedule a mooring from anywhere through an app. And it's very efficient. We've got a lot of positive feedback from our Harbor Master's office with online surveys over the past summer, saying that what we've established over the past year has been a tremendous asset to our water sheet. And the newest was the reorganization of the Harbor Master's office, which brings in our shellfish warden to the Harbor Master's office. I've spoken with her several times over the past few weeks, and she's ecstatic to be on the water rather than be in a cinder block building with no windows in her office. So it doesn't make sense to be where she's at. So I want to thank Donna, and I want to thank the administration for bringing that, and also our Harbor Master for kind of, doing something that should have been done a long time ago. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor LeBlanc. The next item is going to be councilors' requests to the mayor and any comments councilors wish to make. Before we start that, I would like to make a comment. First, I would like to welcome Councilor Hecht and Councilor Holmgren, our newly elected councilors, to the City Council. Congratulations on your election, and we appreciate your joining us. I'd also like to congratulate all of the other councilors who on their re-election. And thirdly, I'd like to thank you all for your vote of support for me to serve as the City Council President. I appreciate that, too. I'm very excited about the potential we have to work as a team, and I know everybody's eager to do that. And we have a lot of great intellect and people who really have a great feel for the citizens of our city, and that's what's really important. So, okay, we'll start with Councilor Holmgren. Do you have anything you would like to?
Yes, I do, thank you. I wanted to announce that this coming Sunday at the UU Church on Middle Street, there is a concert to benefit the Grace Center. It's being hosted by local folk singer Marina Evans and some other fine folks. It is this Sunday at the UU from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Suggested donation is $10, but that's only a suggestion. And thank you very much.
Councilor Memhard.
Thank you, Council President. Just two appreciations. The first to the City Administration and Building Inspector Bill Sanborn for advancing the concerns of the East Gloucester neighborhood around the noise at the Americold facility on East Main Street, and the very exciting news in the paper that Ray Lamont has reported on the change of ownership there, which will bring that facility under local control and hopefully work with the administration more closely to address the noise issues. And secondly, I would just like to thank all of our public services, DPW, police, and fire, for their excellent, efficient services during the recent severe storm. I know on Saturday, after we thought things were cleaning up, we had substantial wind-blown snowdrifts across the golf course in East Gloucester that made it inaccessible for a number of people on the back shore to get to their homes, and the DPW and the police were very helpful and responsive. But that's what we get when we have a full wolf moon combined with that kind of a storm surge. And fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but it does remind us that we are a waterfront community, and more often than not, we are, in fact, an island. So good luck to all of us on that.
Thank you. Councilor Nolan? Nope. Councilor Cox?
Yes, just a few things. I believe the concert on Saturday night is at St. John's, not at the UU Church. Yes, Sunday, St. John's Church, not the UU. Just point of clarification. I also would like to ask the mayor to direct the appropriate department to ticket anyone who has not cleared their sidewalks yet. We have a law on the books, albeit I've been told that it's extremely hard to enforce. Our children are walking in the road to get to school, and we have a law. If we are not able to appropriately enforce it, then I ask for its removal to make sure that our expectations are managed appropriately. If we cannot enforce it, there's no point in having a law regarding it. I would also like to request the DPW through the mayor's office to review the cost of widening Kent Circle to allow for 2 lanes of traffic with parking. I think it would behoove us to at least explore that avenue. And I also received a notice from Senator Tarr's office today that the Commonwealth has increased the low-income heat and energy assistant program from $1,100 to $1,400 for deliverable fuels for those who qualify. I will forward the email to the city clerk's office. There is a link in it to access the information, so if we could possibly get that on our website, it would be a great asset due to the cold weather that we have been having. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor LeBlanc?
I just want to say what a great job the DPW did with clearing the roads for this last storm. Also, if we can get a little bit of cleanup on some of the corners, because I know some of the places when you're pulling out of side streets that the snow's packed really high, so it's hard to see any traffic coming, and also any bus stops that haven't been cleared. And also for any councilors looking to do anything at Kent Circle, that I know it's been a hot topic tonight, that I've done quite a bit over there, so if I can be reached out to before we ask anything, that I've already asked a couple of things, from widening the road to lines, that I can move forward with you guys and maybe give you a little bit of information before we ask a couple of times. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Heck?
I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Councilor Gilman?
I have 2 quick things. First, I wanted to thank Joanne Sinos, our city clerk, for doing a wonderful job at the inauguration. You really did a professional job making sure everyone got sworn in appropriately. The Bible was there in good condition, and for that we appreciate it. And I also wanted to just mention that a great kudos to the mayor's office, because I thought this year's inauguration was extra special. I thought the singing and the talent was amazing. The speeches were very passionate. And it was nice that the city council provided the cookies and the coffee afterwards, so I thought the celebration was awesome, so thank you. The other thing I wanted to do is just a follow-up to the storm. In my ward, being a ward councilor, I wanted to mention to everyone, and for those listening, that Captain Hooks really didn't lose any business. They had 4 inches of water. I was there tonight. The owner was quite happy that that was all that occurred, and I also wanted to mention that Richdale's did have a foot of water, so they were more negatively impacted, but they were also able to get right back to business. So, I think it's important when some of our local businesses are struggling through a catastrophic event like this storm surge, that we do what we can to make sure that the public is aware that the open flag is there and they're back in business. So for that, I'm very grateful, and just to piggyback on what everyone said, thank you, DPW, Gloucester Police, Gloucester Fire Department, all the first responders for doing a terrific job. So thank you.
Councilor O'Hara?
Thank you. I also want to mimic Councilor Gillen and others, thanking the DPW and all the responsible departments for the recent storm and their great work. With that, I'd like to ask the mayor's office if she could, or if they could investigate whether the city's insurance could do anything to help the people who were impacted by the flooding at Gloucester High School and loss of their vehicles. Like to ask the mayor to look at getting hydrant markers on all hydrants that presently don't have markers, as we all found the value of having those hydrant markers. And with that, thanks to the police and fire who responded to last night's fire. They did a great job. And I want to thank the public who did shovel their hydrants out. Also, I want to let the public know that on Monday, the 29th, from 2 to 7 at the Magnolia Library, there'll be a blood drive, Red Cross blood drive. The Red Cross has announced that there's an emergency shortage of blood because of the storms. A lot of people don't turn out, a lot of drives are canceled, so they're in great demand for blood. So I hope that anyone who has the ability to donate considers donating on Monday the 29th. They can call the Red Cross ahead of time to make an appointment. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, councilors. Just quickly, I forgot to say at the beginning that this meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with the state open meeting law. So I will promise to do that at the beginning of the meeting, and also to thank KPN TV for doing the audio and video live feed of our meetings. Thank you, KPN TV. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded. All in favor? We're adjourned.